A reading from 1 Chronicles chapter 7. Issachar had 4 sons, Tola, Pua, Jashub, and Shimron. Tola had 6 sons, Uzi, Rephiah, Jeriel, Jahmai, Ibsam, and Shemuel. They were heads of families of the clan of Tola and were famous soldiers. At the time of King David, their descendants numbered 22,600. Uzi had 1 son, Izrahiah. Izrahiah and his 4 sons Michael, Obadiah, Joel, and Ishiah were all heads of families. They had so many wives and children that their descendants were able to provide 36,000 men for military duty. The official records of all the families of the tribe of Issachar listed 87,000 men eligible for military duty. Benjamin had 3 sons, Bela, Becher, and Jediel. Bela had 5 sons, Ezbon, Uziel, Jerimoth, and Eri. They were heads of families in the clan and were all famous soldiers. Their descendants included 22,034 men eligible for military duty. Becher had 9 sons, Zemira, Joash, Eliezer, Elioenai, Omri, Jerimoth, Abijah, Anathoth, and Alameth. The official record of their descendants by families listed 20,200 men eligible for military duty. Jediel had 1 son, Bilhan, and Bilhan had 7 sons, Jeush, Benjamin, Ehud, Chenana, Zethan, Tarshish, and Ahishahar. They were heads of families in the clan and were all famous soldiers. Their descendants included 17,200 men eligible for military duty. Shuppim and Huppim also belonged to this tribe. Dan had 1 son, Hushim. Naphtali had 4 sons, Jaziel, Guni, Jezer, and Shalom. They were descendants of Bilhah. By his Aramean concubine, Manasseh had 2 sons, Azriel and Machir. Machir was the father of Gilead. Machir found a wife for Huppim and one for Shuppim. His sister's name was Maacah. Machir's second son was Zelophehad, and he had only daughters. Maacah, Machir's wife, gave birth to 2 sons, whom they named Peresh and Sheresh. Peresh had 2 sons, Ulam and Rakem, and Ulam had a son named Bedan. These are all descendants of Gilead, the son of Machir and grandson of Manasseh. Gilead's sister, Hammoleketh, had 3 sons, Ishod, Abiezer, and Mala. Shemida had 4 sons, Ahian, Shechem, Liki, and Aniam. These are the descendants of Ephraim from generation to generation. Shuthela, Bered, Tahath, Eliadah, Tahath, Zabad, Shuthela. Ephraim had 2 other sons besides Shuthela, Ezer and Eliad, who were killed when they tried to steal the livestock belonging to the native inhabitants of Gath. Their father Ephraim mourned for them for many days, and his relatives came to comfort him. Then he had intercourse with his wife again, and she became pregnant and had a son. They named him Beriah because of the trouble that had come to their family. Ephraim had a daughter named Shera. She built the towns of Upper and Lower Beth Horon and Uzen Shera. Ephraim also had a son named Repha, whose descendants were as follows: Resheph, Telah, Tahan, Ladan, Amihud, Elishama, Nun, Joshua. The territory which they took and settled included Bethel and the towns around it, as far east as Naran, and as far west as Gezer and the towns around it. It also included the cities of Shechem and Aiah, and the towns around them. The descendants of Manasseh controlled the cities of Bethshan, Tanakh, Megiddo, and Dor, and the towns around them. All these are the places where the descendants of Joseph, son of Jacob, lived. These are the descendants of Asher. He had 4 sons, Imnah, Ishva, Ishvi, and Beriah, and 1 daughter, Sarah. Beriah had 2 sons, Heber and Malchiel. Malchiel founded the city of Birzait. Heber had 3 sons, Japhlet, Shomer, and Hotham, and 1 daughter, Shua. Japhlet also had 3 sons, Pasak, Bimhal, and Ashvath. His brother Shomer had 3 sons, Roga, Jehuba, and Aram. His brother Hotham had 4 sons, Zophah, Imnah, Shelesh, and Amal. The descendants of Zophah were Sua, Hamefer, Shual, Beri, Imra, Bezer, Hod, Shammah, Shilsha, Itran, and Beerah. The descendants of Jether were Jephunneh, Pispa, and Ara, and the descendants of Ulla were Ara, Haniel, and Rizia. All of these were descendants of Asher. They were heads of families, famous fighting men, outstanding leaders. Asher's descendants included 26,000 men eligible for military duty. The word of the Lord. A reading from 1 Chronicles chapter 8. Benjamin had 5 sons. In order of age, they were Bela, Ashbel, Ahara, Noah, and Rapha. The descendants of Bela were Adar, Gera, Abihud, Abishua, Naaman, Ahoa, Gera, Shephupham, and Huram. The descendants of Ehud were Naaman, Ahijah, and Gera. They were heads of families that lived in Geba, but which were forced out and went to live in Manahath. Gera, the father of Uzzah and Ahihud, led them in this move. Shaharaim divorced 2 wives, Hushim and Bara. Later, when he lived in the country of Moab, he married Hodesh and had 7 sons, Jobab, Zibiah, Mesha, Malcolm, Jeuz, Sakia, and Mirma. His sons all became heads of families. He also had 2 sons by Hushim, Abitub and Elpal. Elpal had 3 sons, Eber, Misham, and Shamed. It was Shamed who built the cities of Ono and Lod and the surrounding villages. Beriah and Shema were heads of families that settled in the city of Aijalon and drove out the people who lived in the city of Gath. Beriah's descendants included Ahio, Shashak, Jeremoth, Zebadiah, Arad, Eder, Michael, Ishpa, and Joha. Elpal's descendants included Zebadiah, Meshulam, Hizki, Heber, Ishmerai, Izliar, and Jobab. Shimei's descendants included Jakim, Zikri, Zabdi, Elianai, Zilathai, Eliel, Adiah, Beriah, and Shimrat. Shashak's descendants included Ishpan, Eber, Eliel, Abdon, Zikri, Hanan, Hananiah, Elam, Antodajah, Ifdeah, and Penuel. Jeroham's descendants included Shamsharai, Shehariah, Athaliah, Jareshiah, Elijah, and Zikri. These were the ancestral heads of families and their principal descendants who lived in Jerusalem. Jael founded the city of Gibeon and settled there. His wife was named Maacah, and his oldest son Abdon. His other sons were Zur, Kish, Baal, Ner, Nadab, Gedor, Ahio, Zechariah, and Mikloth, the father of Shimea. Their descendants lived in Jerusalem near other families of their clan. Ner was the father of Kish, and Kish was the father of King Saul. Saul had 4 sons: Jonathan, Malchishua, Abinadab, and Eshbal. Jonathan was the father of Meribal, who was the father of Micah. Micah had 4 sons: Python, Malek, Tareah, and Ahaz. Ahaz was the father of Jehoiada, who was the father of 3 sons: Alameth, Azmaveth, and Zimri. Zimri was the father of Moza. Moza, the father of Benaiah. Benaiah of Rapha. Rapha of Eliasah, and Eliasah of Azel. Azel had 6 sons: Azrikam, Bocheru, Ishmael, Sheariah, Obadiah, and Hanan. Azel's brother Eshek had 3 sons: Ulam, Jeush, and Eliphalet. Ulam's sons were outstanding soldiers and archers. He had 150 sons and grandsons in all. All those named above were members of the tribe of Benjamin. The word of the Lord.